Hi, I'm Paul Johnson from Film Obsessive, and today I'm with Apollo Bakopoulos, who is writer and director of a new film called Aligned. Apollo, welcome. Where are you joining us from today?
Hi, Paul. Good to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Currently, I'm in Greece, in beautiful Greece. It's been about a month now. I'm visiting and I'm finishing up some work for my new project. So I'm just enjoying the nice weather here and being cozy at my family's place in Greece for this time.
Excellent. And your film Aligned, I know it premiered at the Brooklyn Film Festival last year, and it's currently appearing in other festivals. Is that correct?
Yes, we're at the film circuit at the moment. We did our world premiere at the Brooklyn Film Festival this June, and we have been around a few festivals in the United States. We made our splash there, and we have more festivals coming up. In the US, we just did our premiere in Canada last week, and we're gonna be doing our European premiere in the mid of March. We're with the BFI Flair Festival in London. So that's amazing, and yeah, more screenings coming up around the world, and yeah, we're rolling with the film
That's
circuit.
exciting. Will you be traveling with the film for some of those?
Yes, I will be traveling. I'm traveling to Nebraska next month, basically in a few days this month.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm gonna be in New York for a couple of weeks, and then I'm coming back to Greece to fly to London for our European premiere, which is gonna be mid of March. And then I'm coming back to the US. We have a screening in Chicago and in Fargo.
Right, excellent. Why don't I have you tell our viewers a little bit about Aligned in your own words? I'm just eager to hear how you would describe it yourself.
Yeah, so Aligned is a reflection on self. And uh, basically, it's a film that invites you to see um, certain kind of practices and way of thinking and way of being that can help you be more compassionate with yourself, and also things that we can do to have a discipline around the mind that has the tendency to beat us up, and has a tendency to look at things more, it has a tendency on negativity, insecurity, and fear. How we can have a discipline around that and compassionate at the same time, so we can be more in the present moment, and we can practice ways of being and principles that can make us more effective in life. And the most important thing, that when we're in the moment and we're not driven by fear or negative self-talking, we can actually listen what it's already there, which for me, it's um, that very subtle voice, which has to do with our inner guidance and our intuition. So when we're in tune with that, then we can feel more safe about the decisions we're going to make, and things are more in alignment for us. So this is deeper what Aligned is about: personal, inner connection, yeah, and
Apollo,
self-love.
I understand, and to hear you speak of it, the principles that you are aiming to put in practice with Aligned strike me as reasonably universal ones. So I'm wondering just how and when you sought the first inspiration for this. Was it the message that really first came to you that you wanted to work through, and then you sought for a place or a storyline or a character? Or were you thinking first in terms of your two protagonists, both of whom are professional aspiring dancers, and then working out situations for them?
Yeah, it evolved. It started from an experience, a personal experience I had a realization, something that made me learn more about myself. And at that time, it was the experience was very direct and profound for me, that I it helped me see what's getting in my own way, basically. And what was getting at that time in my own way was insecurity and fear, and the need to seek for validation and love outside of myself. So I had an experience that I saw that clear, that I was insecure and I wasn't loving myself enough, and I was seeking that through other people. I wanted, uh, not everybody, but when it was coming more to the intimate level, I felt that I had work to do there, and I had an experience that really showed me what it means, what rejection means for me, what it means to want something that I can't have, and what kind of emotions it triggers in me. And what I saw was the rejection, for example, it was triggering fear. And then I start digging more deeper into that, like why I would be upset if someone wasn't behaving the way I want them to be, um, and why I would want someone else to validate me and make me feel that I'm lovable. Does that make sense? So I had this kind of experience, and that's what triggered me to start writing, because I really saw that for the first time in my life, and that's when I started the journey. And as I was digging deeper into the fears, I could see that there was a situation that I was afraid or something, and what that means, like what is under that. So there was a fear under the fear that I would go, and eventually I would, I found myself that I could get to 5, 4, 6, 5, 7 core fears that they're universal, and that's what really driving the car for me. That was what that was driving the car. So when I don't feel when I'm seeking to be loved for someone so I can feel better about myself, it means that I feel that I'm unlovable, or I feel that I'm not good enough. And what that means if I'm not good enough, I'm going to be unwanted, and I'm going to be alone and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So those fears are universal. So I was like, if I'm going to focus on something, I'm actually going to focus on a fear that we can all relate to, and it's actually the fear under its every daily fear that we all experiencing, and it's underneath that, if we dig in, and what's happening is that I'm seeking comfort from that fear eventually when I want to control a situation or another person's behavior. So if I'm not really afraid, then why would I want you to behave a certain way? Why would I be upset if you don't give me what I want for myself? So if I'm looking you to be a certain way with me, it means that I'm I'm trying to control something that I'm actually afraid. Because if I wasn't afraid, I wouldn't be affected. So it's deep enough. So that's what got me down to really see each moment, what is it that it's driving? Is it my fear, or is it me trusting? And yeah.
I understand, and or at least I think I understand your perspective is quite evolved on this, and it sounds like you've had quite a time to process that experience and those emotions. And so I'm wondering, how long in the making has Aligned been? You were filming during COVID, correct? But the genesis for the film sounds like it goes back even further than that.
Yeah, it started a year before COVID, and during COVID, we had the opportunity to do post-production. So we didn't film during COVID. We actually filmed before COVID, and then we did some extra filming after COVID at both locations. Yeah, but during COVID, it was an opportunity for production,
Good.
post-production. Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear, and it's still distressing to talk with filmmakers whose production efforts were interrupted by COVID. Some of them were able to complete their projects, others not to. You mentioned New York, and I'm interested also to hear about your own backstory a little bit. Now, you're Greek. You've studied in Paris and London. It was in your adult years, I take it, that you came to New York, and I'm just wondering also how that figures as a site in opposition to Hellas in your film.
Yes. New York, I had the calling to go to New York since I was a child. I was I was a little bit afraid of it in the beginning because I grew up in Greece, and when the time came to choose which location I want to start my journey international, living outside of Greece, it was scaring me a little bit in the beginning because it felt far. Um, so I did start my journey through Paris and London, which I studied, and I also start working in London. I as a cinematographer back then. When I graduated my film school, I stayed for 3 years and I did my practice. But eventually, when the time came and I made the decision to go to New York, and I arrived there, that was in 2010. I was my early 20s at the time. And it was the beginning of the journey of recreating myself and becoming the person that I am today. So it was the best thing that I could do. Eventually, it was the most scary, but the most rewarding. And New York just feels more home than any other place that I lived anywhere else, even closer to Greece for some reason. New York, it's been a place that I've been receiving a lot of inspiration. Like that's why a lot of people they go there. It's just the energy there. It's very high vibrational. People are very much in like creative mode and to show up the best, show up as their best selves and um, challenge themselves and stretch themselves and become the bigger versions that they can be because everybody is in the same mode. Everybody, it's the nature of the city that makes you want to do things. So it's a very inspiring, it's a beautiful city. I was always feeling that the beauty around me. It's so much creativity. We know it's the city that it's a beautiful city. It can be really hard. It is. It's a hard place. It's sometimes to live, but it's a beautiful place. And when we have a discipline around those practices that I mentioned in the beginning, and we can stay centered, and we can discipline our mind and ourselves, and we can be in the flow of things happen very fast in New York, and that's something that I experienced all of these years. And for some reason, it just flowed for me there. I just felt that I could be myself. I felt that I could feel safe to be who I am. As an LGBT person, I grew up in Greece, and I had a completely different experience in Greece. I always felt that I don't fit in, and I wasn't feeling very comfortable being gay in Greece. So in New York just gave me this opportunity to express myself and feel that I'm respected for who I am, and really like explore my full potential as a human being. So it became home. Since then, I'm there, and I travel a lot, and I come to Greece and back and forth. And with Aligned, I spent a lot of time in Greece the last 5 years. But New York is home, and it's that thing that you want. There is a time that you need to get out of it, and then when you're out of it, you just miss it and you need to go back because it has something very specific that no other place has. That it's one of the ingredients that I need now. So it's home. It's one of my homes.
Your film has the two settings, of course, and of Hellas and of New York, and the two characters. They're both Greek, but one of them spends a fair amount of time in New York before bringing the other there. And your leads, you know, they're both professional dancers with a lot of talent and a lot of ambition. And I'm wondering how you look to them if you were looking primarily for their abilities as dancers, and then look to find ones who have the acting chops to do the dramatic scenes that you wanted to, or if it was perhaps the other way around.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I've been doing as a practice in New York all these years that I've lived there since 2010, it's dancing. So I have used dancing as a way, like meditation. It's been one of my practices that helps me process emotions of the week, or sometimes when I feel stuck, I go in and start moving and I'm feeling my emotions, and it's like a reset for me. So all these years I've been learning about practices and dancing and how to use the body, and the effect that has on my body. Like, how do I feel um, being in my body, and how do I feel in relation with others? It's a practice, it's an experience that has helped me to um, uh, ways of being when I'm dancing, and principles and the experience. I have to take it outside also in my everyday life, and practice it in everyday life as well. So I knew that I was looking for dancers who understand principles. And because it's contemporary dancing, and also one of the dances that I have practiced, um, um, it's um, it doesn't involve um, certain techniques like ballet, or it's a little bit, if you see in the film also, it's a different kind, it's more of a way of being with another person and their body. If you see, they don't really touch each other, but you learn how to make space for you and the other person, and kind of like go with the flow of. So they knew about that. So I wanted people that they have experience in contemporary dancing, and also people that they can meet the LGBT criteria, and also to find two people that the chemistry would work as well, and they would understand about what kind of principles we wanted to embody, because it's what I wanted to do. And I have worked with dancers in the past, and I have captured and suit dancing, and capturing the essence of that. So I have practiced a lot with that. So we getting to a state of that, letting go of the mind, and we're getting in a state of being, and the essence that comes in that moment, that's what we're capturing. So you can have the experience when you watch it. So that's something that I have practiced, and I was looking for that. I was seeking for that, and it seemed like it worked eventually with those two characters. And we had our conversations. We became clear about what kind of principles we want to embody, what do we want other people to experience, what kind of relationship is that, which was very much about innocence, playfulness, um, these kind of principles, freedom, um, and non-sexual intimacy. It was very important. So they embody that, and that's how it worked. We had our conversations first, and we became clear of what is that we're creating. And that's how they were able to feel safe as well, that we can create a space where they can both feel vulnerable to show that more tender part of them, of themselves, in a safe space. So we had rehearsals, we had moments that we worked together, we had moments that we worked only the three of us, so we can all get used to each other and get comfortable and all of that. And yeah, it was a journey, because I was coming from that place, so I was creating a space for that, and that was also my commitment and my practice. And when I was clear with that internally, then they would also be this way as well, if that makes sense. So we were all vibrating at the same. It was, yeah, we just tuned in the same vibration.
It really does come across well, and I think your 2 leads both have a good deal of interpersonal energy as dancers, but also as human beings who are capable of being, like comfortably platonically intimate with each other, but then also later, not to give away a major element of the plot, sexually intimate with each other as well. And there is a palpable energy to the film, both in that relationship and in the dance they perform.
Yeah, yeah, they were touched by the story, and I think they understood the importance of what's missing generally from this community. Uh, the relationship between men, and it's something that it's been taking a long time to get. It took a long time to get where we are today. Because we had a culture and certain beliefs that didn't really allow gay love to be in the middle of that, and the possibility for um, to um, for love and marriage and all of that. So it's something that it's been taking a lot of time, and we changing now, of course, and a lot of queer films, they represent um, gay love, and all humans can relate because it's human love, and we need more healthy representation of that kind of love and relationship between two people. So I think they were touched by that. They understood the importance and why that's true, and that's why it worked for them as well.
You know, it's interesting. I think in my work at Film Obsessive, in reviewing films from all across the world, I probably see more LGBTQ teen slash coming out kinds of films than I do ones with adults in relationships to whatever degree they're monogamous or committed. The films with adults strike me as more rare actually than ones with teens or young people just, just at that moment of coming into their identity and sexuality.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, and I'm very happy and excited and grateful for that it's actually happening, because these are the films that we actually needed the most back then. Our generation, for example, or and previous generation, I didn't grow up with these films, and for me, it's a part of why it's a reason why I'm doing this now. And yeah, I believe that the sooner that we introduce through media to younger generations healthy adult love and possibility for marriage, the kids can relate, and they can feel a part of the world, they can feel more accepted, and they can actually find their way faster, and they can avoid um, pitfalls as well, because when kids feel misunderstood and they don't feel that they're seen, um, they might try ways that they can be harmful for themselves. And we've been through generations of um, people hurting themselves, basically.
We
Yeah,
have indeed. Yeah.
and that could help if we have health examples of intimacy at earlier time, at earlier years. It can help the generations that are coming.
I appreciate your saying that. That's well put. And just before we wrap up, Apollo, I'd also just like to ask you about your DP on your New York sections. Dan Neese, am I pronouncing his name correctly?
Yeah,
He shot a good deal of your film and passed away before it was finished. And I should ask you just to take a moment. What would you like to say in his memory?
yeah. I would like to say thank you for the playfulness and the passion and the excitement that he brought in, and the enthusiasm. And yeah, just being around Dan, it felt like I'm a kid again, and we're just so excited. And I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to um, being around this kind of human being. who is so passionate about what he's doing and so open, and he brought in such a loving and kind energy and open heart. So that's it.
Thank you, Apollo. I'll provide a link to your upcoming screenings of Aligned so that our viewers can take a look at that. And if they're in an area nearby one of the festivals, I hope they'll get a chance to see it. And I'll just wish you well with your travels to the festivals and to the success of your film Aligned. And congrats to you on the completion of a lovely film.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. So nice to meet you. Thank you.
I enjoyed our conversation, Apollo. Thank you.
Here, same here. Thanks.